guys, I almost forgot to include a Kubi in those 10 knives with amazing action. Let's include this here, 322. This is just an honorable mention because I've already got 10 coming at you. So I figured I'd throw this in real quick. Yes, the 322, amazing action, buttery smooth goodness. Welcome back to my obsession. I am Stella, and these are 10 knives with amazing action. The CH Sultan. I know there's not many fans of the trailing point blade, but I love this. I know it's really more for looks, to be quite honest with you, especially in my daily life, but I really like the looks of the blade, and I love the fact that this has two different forms of deployment, and they have really nice thumb studs. Honestly, I wouldn't mind doing a Frankenstein type of project and taking things from knives that I love and putting them all together. So anyway, the CH Sultan has exceptional action for a generic type of blade in the knife world. It is very good, I have to say. And by generic, I don't mean that it's crappy. I don't mean it's like buying generic Cheerios compared to regular Cheerios. I just mean it's not huge, like maybe Kizer or Concept or anything like that. That's all. Honestly, it's a beautiful knife with superb action. So that is the CH Sultan, you guys. Next we have, sorry about that, the CRKT Pilar 3, which I just got the other day. I have never done a full review on this or anything like that, but I know it's pretty common in the knife world, and for the most part, my viewers probably already know how good this knife is. I did get the 8CR version, but this should be just fine for me because in my daily life now, the cutting tasks that I used to have are basically cut in half. So this will be just fine and easy to sharpen. So I think I'm going to put a mirror edge on this guy. But the ergos on this one are out of this world. They are just amazing. It seems like they took a mold of my hand and then built the handle according to the dimensions of my hand. That's how well it fits in my hand. It's so good, you guys. And if you don't have it, I would definitely recommend getting it. Put this in your collection because it's worth every little penny that you pay for it. Okay, that is the CRKT Pilar 3. Yes, very pretty. I love the blade. Nice and shiny. So yeah. There's that guy there, and we'll go with the CJRB Scoria next. This one is also one of the ones that fits in my hand ever so perfectly. It just, you can't, I mean, either way, if you choke up or you're just holding the handle, this thing is so nice in your hand. It's another one. This is like number 2 in my book. I would have to say the Pilar took over its number 1 spot because this was my number 1 for ergos as far as this year. It goes right to the Scoria for ergos. But the CRKT definitely took over for that. And check out that. This has absolutely wonderful action for having a black coated blade. It's, oh man, it's really, really nice. So the black coated blade, in my opinion, did not interfere with the action on this whatsoever. It's just a perfect knife in my eyes. I already loved the feldspar, and then they put this out. It was like, wow, they read everybody's mind, and they put out the feldspar, like, one up. So the Scoria, I love the name of it too. So yeah, the Scoria is an amazing knife. Scoria, definitely recommend this one in your collection. Let's move on. Now we have the Artisan Arian. It's a Cerberus design with that wonderful leaf or spear-shaped blade that I'm so into right now. I love this blade shape. I can't even tell you how much I love it. It's beyond words. But yeah, this little thing has wonderful ergos. And if you don't have enormous hands or you're not wearing gloves, this is perfect. And for a full grip, it's perfect. You should be able to fit all 4 fingers on the grip. It's a neutral grip. It doesn't force your hand anywhere. Great ergos and great action. I definitely recommend that one as well. All of these. I recommend every single one of the knives I show you today. So awesome. Let's move on to this Tucson 282. This is in my top 3 favorites by by Tucson. This is the TS282. My other favorites are the 301 and I can't think of it right now, the 325. Those are my 3 favorite Tucsons. You can spidey flick this. You can front flip it. You can thumb flick it. This one's pretty awesome and customizable because of this insert right here, which is still titanium. It's a nice little thin slab of titanium that you can easily customize. So because it's fully removable, so they made that pretty. They really kept that in mind when creating the design of this, which is actually a Wong design. I'm a big fan of his. It's a 14C28N blade, and the action, I don't know, this blade is tremendous too. Although you don't have much of a cutting area because of the choil and how they put the thumb studs, like they integrated it into the blade like that. But I love it because it forms a thumb ramp, so that you can choke up and you can do those push cuts with ease, just because this thing is just perfect. There are small cutouts in the handle, but they don't force your hand anywhere. They don't bother your hands if you have a really tight grip on it. And you can still, although it is a small knife, you can still get a full grip on there. So all 4 fingers will fit no problem. And check out the action. It's amazing. Yeah, this one, great action, you guys. That's the 282 by Tucson. Love it. Great pocket clip on that one too. And this one was honestly my first knife with full drop shut action. I never had a knife with full drop shut action until this. This is the Kizer Land. Check it out. It's amazing. And it has a really cool tingy sound. When you disengage the blade, I love that sound. And it's N690, but it is very sharp, and it can be a guillotine if it didn't have that flipper tab there, this thing would cut you. There's no doubt. It came shaving sharp, as do most of my Kizers. That's in my personal experience. I'd probably say 90% of the time my blades come shaving sharp. And this one is going to be in a long-term knife use review eventually, because I've had this for a long time now, and I've used it quite a bit. I've only stropped it, and the thing is holding up so well. I love the they call it a patina, but when I think of a patina, I think of brass or copper, bronze, things like that. So with my Carta, I would consider it dirty. And so it gets discolored when it's dirty, but I like it. It's just the oils from your hand, and it's just, I don't know, it's like self-maintaining micarta. Unless you're living in a really dry state, you shouldn't have to oil this one just because of the frag pattern. I feel like it traps the oils in there way better than, say, a knife without any pattern on the micarta scales. So I always oil my micarta before, or right in the fall season, right before winter. I oil my micarta so that it doesn't get too dry, because I live in Utah and it's a very dry state as it is. So yeah. Anyway, the Kizer Land, amazing action. You can't beat it. It's ridiculous. And the sound, love it. Makes me so happy. Here is the Savvi Brazen. And we have another black wash blade with truly amazing fall shut action. I can't believe the action you get on this thing. It's crazy. It looks like a really tough, rugged, aggressive work knife. It's slightly aggressive looking, I'm gonna say. Not slightly, that's aggressive. But it's so cool. And what's cool about this knife is there's other variants out there that don't look so aggressive. If you get like the satin finish blade or the stonewash blade with a drop tip and a different colored handle, it looks like a completely different knife. It's pretty cool how they can do that, and I love the Brazen. This is a great workhorse of a knife. You can beat on it all day long. The liners make it extremely rigid, and the G10 is excellent. But yeah, if you don't have it and you're thinking about it, definitely jump, because it's a great knife with amazing action. So smooth. Wow. On to the QSP Janet front flipper. Beautiful knife. I love this type of micarta. It's snakeskin micarta with I love that they made it like with bolsters, carbon fiber. They're red carbon fiber bolsters. But it just in a really nice pocket clip. I kind of wish it was stonewashed, but that's okay, because if it matches the blade, I don't really care that much, But if they stonewash everything and then leave a shiny pocket clip, that's kind of stupid. But this one has the hand rubbed blade, and it's gorgeous. It goes this way, and it just shows you the detail that they put into there. This is a budget knife all the way. The price indicates that anyway, and it is 154 cm, a great budget steel. But with the hand rubbed blade, I mean, that's just, I don't know, you don't get much better than that in the budget world. So I definitely love this action. You gotta kind of motivate the blade to fall a little, but it's so smooth when you're shaking it shut. Oh, it's beautiful. Great action on that one. Now we're getting to some absolutely smooth, and nobody can match Best Tech's smooth action. There is a level of smoothness that Best Tech has that no other knife company, I swear, can match. I don't care how much the knife costs. There's a smoothness there that's so amazing, and this thing is beautiful. The red carbon fiber with the little titanium pivot collars and a really decent pocket clip. It is not ambidextrous, but I still would, if I'm sure a lot of lefties are used to carrying right-handed knives, and if you are used to it and you do it doesn't bother you in your daily life, I would definitely recommend splurging on this one. It's actually not splurging because it's so cheap. Look it up, you guys. I got this on White Mountain Knives. I cannot remember, but I did get 10% off because I use the Knife Beaters code every time. And it's the Knife Beaters code is Lefty Love. And I get 10% off every single time I buy a knife on there. It just makes it worth it. I mean, even at full price, it's worth it. This thing has a beautiful grind. You can the lines are so close together, you can barely even see that it was machined. This is so nice. Let's see. They did use D2 on this. I kind of wish that they used maybe even 14C28N, just because, I mean, even N690 or 154 CM would have been perfect for this one, because it just, that steel is amazing and it would suit this knife so well. But the action, you guys, is so buttery smooth. You just can't get that anywhere. It's beautiful. Awesome. So that is the Ascot. That is the Best Tech Ascot. I don't know if I even said that. And last, but certainly not least, we have the Concept Helix. This thing is so smooth. The ergos are amazing on this as well. You can, the grip is perfect. If you grab it there, it's perfect. But in most cases, I choke up, and I love that even more. This one's got a really nice grind on it. It's got a subtle stone wash, which is gorgeous. But it's got this slight little secondary tip. I guess, I don't know if you'd call it a secondary tip or what, but it's nearly a tanto. It's a nanto. Anyway, the swedge gives it a nice stout tip, so it's not delicate. It has great aggressive jimping, but not so aggressive that you're bleeding by the time you're done using it. But you are not gonna, this thing's not falling out of your hand, that's for sure. I love the style of the handle. The blue, I think it's anodized aluminum underneath. It could be steel, but I'm not too sure about that actually, because since it is the lock, I think it's steel. But they did a really good job making it light for such a large knife. It's not, it is heavy because the blade, and they did very well with the balance too. It's really hard to get the balance right on a knife with a blade this large and heavy. So this thing is a monster, but it's a monster with beautiful action. Great liner lock. It's almost like a frame lock to me, just because the G10 just sits on top the way it does. The lock on this just reminds me of a frame lock. It works very well, let's just say. Now, this one does not have a left-hand carry. I do not recommend this for left-handed people, because if you carry this in your left-hand pocket, the blade will pop out and you will cut your finger when you reach your hand in your pocket for anything else. The lanyard hole is extremely generous, but they incorporated it very well into the handle. I love that. So, because I'm not a big fan of lanyard holes, if they make this, they create these big blocky extras on the knife just for a lanyard hole. I don't like that. It won't stop me from buying a knife I like, but I just don't like the looks of it. But yeah, lefties, they left you out on this one, and I'm sorry. I hope that they eventually either fix the detent, because the detent is so light that it will let the blade basically release in your pocket if you're bending, and if you're very active, I should say, because I was carrying this in my left pocket when I was camping, and I was very active. So the blade had it deployed slightly, just a little bit like that. And I stuck my hand in my pocket and it went right up my pinky under the nail. It was pretty painful. But, you play with knives, you're going to get cut. But anyway, I'd never carry this in my left pocket again. But anyway, that is 10 knives with amazing action, you guys. Let me know which one's your favorite. Do you have any of these? Comment below, and I will see you soon.